Warning: the content ahead may be frightening or distressing to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
I was hired to join a private oceanic research company, Abyssal Dynamics. They said the job was simple: operate the sonar systems and monitor the cameras while a remote submersible, the ADS-9, descended into an uncharted trench in the mid-Pacific. But from the moment I stepped into the control room, something felt off. The walls were covered in peeling acoustic panels. The floor vibrated, not from machines, but from something deeper. It felt like the whole facility was sitting on a heartbeat. The ADS-9 began sinking past normal depths. 1,000 meters, 3,000, 6,000. Soon it slipped below the point where sunlight dies completely. The monitors flickered. Static laced the sonar screen, even though there was no interference.
Is that normal?
I asked. My supervisor didn't answer. He only said,
"Keep recording. Do not attempt to stabilize the feed."
At 8,400 meters down, the lights on the submersible caught something drifting in the dark. At first I thought it was a piece of plastic, but plastic doesn't move on its own. It looked like a pale tendril, long as a telephone pole, shifting in slow spirals. Its surface was covered in faintly glowing nodes, pulsing like fireflies trapped under skin. The sonar slammed with feedback so loud it made my teeth hurt. The supervisor muttered,
"It's awake earlier than expected."
"Earlier?" That meant they knew. The tendril brushed the camera lens. The feed turned white, then black, then white again, like something was thinking through the camera. At 10,900 meters, the ADS-9 lights illuminated something impossible. A wall, not stone, not coral, something built. A colossal arch of smooth black material covered in spiraling depressions like fingerprints from titanic hands. It stretched farther than the camera could view. The center of the arch opened into a void, perfectly circular, absolutely black, not dark. Black, as if the ocean refused to enter. I whispered.
Is that a cave?
The supervisor said nothing, but the tremor in his hand told me everything. The sub drifted near the opening, then the void moved. At first I thought it was a shadow shifting, but the movement was deliberate. Something blinked. The ADS-9's lights glinted off a curve of wet, glassy surface, like the surface of an immense orb. It wasn't a cave. It wasn't a structure. It was a face, a piece of one. What we thought was architecture was the edge of an eyelid, a lid large enough to eclipse a frigate. The eye rolled upward, following the ADS-9, following us. The pressure sensors spiked. The whole trench trembled. The sonar stopped functioning as sonar. Instead of pings, it began to produce syllables, soft, wet sounds, something between a language and an organ being pressed. The technicians bolted from the room. My supervisor stood frozen, whispering,
"It's communicating. It finally knows where we are."
The ADS-9 lights dimmed. A new glow replaced them. From beneath the creature's skin, patterns, symbols, moving like bioluminescent veins forming words I couldn't understand. The creature's pupil grew wider, wider, until the entire screen was swallowed by black. The pressure alarms went insane. The trench floor rose. No, something beneath the trench floor did. The entire camera view tilted as the ADS-9 was pushed upward by a rising current. The creature was ascending. The deepest part of the ocean, the coldest, darkest, most inaccessible place on Earth, was opening. Something climbed from below the crust. Something with joints that cracked like thunder and skin that reflected no light. I felt a buzzing in my skull, a hum that vibrated my teeth. The creature wasn't speaking into the water anymore. It was speaking into me. The last thing the ADS-9 recorded was the ocean parting, not like water making room for a mass, but like it was being rejected, shoved away from a shape too ancient to coexist with it, a form taller than mountains crowned with looping bioluminescent growths, like tendrils that held memories older than the seafloor. As it climbed, the communication system erupted with a low, drawn-out tone. Not a warning, not a threat, a summoning. The supervisor grabbed my shoulder, shaking, eyes wild.
It's not rising toward us,
He whispered.
it's rising because something else is coming up behind it.
And then, the signal went dead. Every monitor turned black, every system shut down, and far beneath the quiet rumble of the generators, I swear I heard something knocking.